on my arm. I'll always keep you safe from harm. I want you to be my bride and sing, sing, sing along while I'm walking. Here, here, here's your love, girl. Here, here, here's your love. Well, you're gonna go somewhere. I've got a lot to love to give. I've got a kiss for your name on.
A very good afternoon. Welcome to you all for the team finals, women's canoe and men's kayak. I'm David Goldstrom, together with the ECA team. Looking forward to the two medal opportunities, which will get underway in the next couple of minutes. Now, the women's canoe team finals over the last recent years has been dominated by Great Britain. They've won three on the bounce, 2017, 2018 and 2019. And it's disappointing, of course, that they're not here, but they, like the Slovak paddlers, they've decided, sadly, that they're not entering competitions in 2020. I'm sure that must be really frustrating for them. Germany, who are not here and would be a definite force in the team event, their paddlers all are supported by the German army or the German police, so under their regulations they're not able to go traveling into potentially risk areas, so that's the reason why they're not here. The Russians were not going to send teams anyway, so we have Italy, Slovenia, Spain, France and Czech Republic, all good teams. And here just a reminder of the course details. Now, of course, it's three boats in each team, and the crucial factor, apart from not hitting the gates and getting penalties, is to make sure that the third boat finishes within 15 seconds of the first boat crossing the line. So here it's all about a rhythm and pattern as to how they take the gates, particularly the upstream pattern. You can see the second boat going out of the gate only when the third boat has got past it. And that's the format, essentially, or the principle, when they're negotiating each of the 6 upstream gates. Particularly tricky here at 50 and 16. That is an area where they're going to really have to be careful. There you can see the second boat just waiting as the third boat went behind. And now as they come through 24 and 25, that third boat, as the first boat hits the line, the clock is frozen and the third boat has to get there within 15 seconds. If it doesn't, then the team is disqualified. So please sit back and enjoy this. Immediately after the women's competition, we have the men's teams, and we have 12 kayak nations involved there. Switzerland, Latvia, Croatia, Ireland, Austria, Sweden, Poland, France, Italy, Spain, Slovenia and Czech Republic. So hopefully one of your favorites is amongst those particular teams in the men's kayak. But this should be interesting for the women's teams. Getting a little warmer every hour, creeping towards the predicted 20 Celsius as we just passed 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Grandstands filling up after a little break, and a really enjoyable morning, and particularly the finals. First team out of the gate is going to be Italy with Chiara Sabatini and Marta Bertoncelli and Elena Micozzi, who are the trio. So it should be Chiara Sabatini who's going to lead out there. She wears 1A, 1B on the far side there, and there you have the graphic which helps you out. So away they go, first team to set the target, and you can see that purposefully Elena Micozzi just waited behind. Although on these downstream gates it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Again, the objective to be as fast as you can and clean without touching any of the gates. Gate 4, the first, and that is a touch on gate 4. So So there'll be a penalty coming up there for Italy. Well, it's been given as clean, but I'm sure that there was a touch on the bow of the leader's boat, the leading boat's bow, so slightly curious about that. Maybe it'll be added later after they check. And they're in all sorts of trouble here, the Italians, and Sabatini taking a roll, and they've completely lost their form and their rhythm, and they're just it's actually chaos out there at the moment. So they've changed their order to try and adjust things, but they're having a really difficult time here. So obviously with the 50-second penalty, no penalties come up on gate 4, interestingly enough, but we'll wait to see. The 50 was for the miss on gate 10, plus 2 boats touching that gate, which has added another 4 seconds, as you can see. Well, you can see the principle of negotiating the upstream gates, but over 200 seconds, there's 3 minutes to start intervals, 180 seconds between the starts for each team, but Italy have lost their way completely, and to be honest, are probably set to be 5th and last in the final ranking. So so 2:45.86, and Slovenia will be already on their way through the opening gates, and there they are coming through, and this is Alia Kozorog and Eva Alina Hocheva, who was 8th in the individual final in the past couple of hours, and Leah Novak wears 2C. And they showed also the section between 50 and 60, how they were placed and chance to place it during the race. So touches on 6 and 8 touch on 6, I should say, and they're much faster. Predictably, they've kept things going for the moment. But again, they've lost their way around 10 and 11, and the time loss is significant. Maybe they've not lost as much as the Italians. You'll get a time check on that. But again, unfortunately, the Slovenians are not competitive. Last year at the World Championships in Po, British took the gold, Germany took the second, and Czech Republic was third, and Slovenia with the same trio were 8th. So they are faster than the Italians. That's predictable, but this is not going to be a winning time. So the penalties coming on now, late confirmation after they were checked. 6, 7 and 8, as you can see, touches there. And they head towards the finish here, and the first two boats just holding off the line to let the third boat catch up, and she shouts ahead to her teammates, go, 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 to get that 1:64.07. That's 85 seconds and a bit ahead of Italy. Not a winning score. Next up, Spain. And Spain with Miren Lazcano, who finished 7th in the individual competition. She's in the middle there, 3A, and she's supported by Anjoa Lamero and Clara Gonzalez. Spanish, who weren't involved in last year's team competition. But the Spanish team, which had Lamero and Clara Olazabal and Nuria Villarubla, they actually finished as silver medalists in the World Championships, with the Czechs in 3rd place. That was in Liceo de Gel last year on home water. So marginally ahead, the Spanish, but in trouble. And she's lost her paddle, I think, yeah. And, well, that spells doom for Gonzalez. There's nothing she can do. She's getting the support of the crowd here, because all she can do is what she is doing. And they've got the paddle back to her, which is remarkably good teamwork, but you can see the clock ticking away, and was a certain well, it looked good for them to at least go into the lead. Now they're already past the time of the Slovenians, so 2:49 was the time, but you can see all those missed gates, and as a result of that, they will go to the bottom of the table. No alternative, and that just leaves France and the Czech Republic. So Slovenia in the lead are going to get a medal, a bronze medal. It's not the most competitive of team events, and it's been a little disappointing so far, but we might get better things to come from the French, who are well-drilled trio, and all of them in the final as well, and likewise for the Czech Republic, who will go last. So very much a cricket score in terms of minutes and seconds, and 400, and it's been a... You can see they haven't finished the course, and the French are already on their way, and just starting the French now. You can hear the starting pips from the beginning, and they're well spread out now, and you need to be careful here, Spain, that they get across the line in 15 seconds, the last boat. So let's get to the French team, already through the first 4 gates.
Teď jsou tady ale ze českou francouzsky, dvě největší favoritky dnešního závodu lídek kategorie CZE, které tam jedou falešnou protivodu v rámci číslo 7, a protože se rozhodli jako jistější průjezd, je to lidský podhůd, která vede tuhle trojčlennou skupinku, která se nám tam teď jestli bude vidět v rankové kombinace 9-10.
Well, and even the French now have got a missed gate. So just about an hour to recover. So 1:54.07 sorry, 1:64.07 is the Slovenian time, and they're coming up to that now, and the French are in serious trouble here. It's surely not going to be as slow as the Italians. I can't believe that. Right, so they're now outside the time of the Slovenians, who will be very surprised to see themselves sitting in first place. And this would certainly be an event where they wouldn't have had any opportunity really to practice much, and that may also be an important factor now. Third boat going through gate number 23, turning for the finish now, and they are actually going to go into silver medal position behind Slovenia. Well, the last team to go is going to be the Czech Republic on home water, on a course they know well. Well, who's to say that they're not going to snatch the lead away from the Slovenians? They really should do. And we've got Tereza Fisarova, the silver medalist. She's in the middle there, and Satkova, who wears the letter B, 5B, and she took the gold medal, and Tereza Kneblova, who was 6th in the final. Crowds thinned out quite a bit, I think, after the finals, which was the main attraction of the day. Nonetheless, for the paddlers themselves, every opportunity to get on the water competitively before the season closes out is really important, and they've got a big gap here between the leader, that's Fisarova, in front, making the best of her way through gate number 12. And what they're doing here is creating quite big gaps to make sure that each of them has plenty of time to negotiate each gate cleanly. In a more competitive field and situation like this, they really wouldn't be able to do this, but what they've done is use their intelligence and realize that they don't have to be as tight to each other and tight through the gates as they perhaps would be under other circumstances. And with the Slovenians having posted 1:64.07, there's a real opportunity, and they're taking it now to win the women's canoe singles team gold medal. And this is intelligent paddling in the circumstances. It's not thrilling. It's just the correct thing to do in a situation like this. They have picked up penalties. Well, according to... No, not according to what I've seen, because the computers decided to play up again. But they're going to come across the line and comfortably take this women's canoe final, and they've done so apparently, and it's a clean sheet, and by 24.96 seconds using... Oh, well, gate 15's just come on to spoil that, but the reality is that they've won this, and the Czech Republic, well, I've still got it showing 0 penalties for the Czech Republic, 8 for Slovenia, 64 for France, 68 for Italy, 266 for Spain. So not really competitive, and the Czechs have got a pretty soft medal, but they've used their brains and they've worked out right from the beginning what to do. So for Fisarova, she gets a gold to go with her silver. For Kneblova, she gets a gold to go with her 6th place finish. And For Satkova, it's double gold. So they're going to have a little raft up here just to celebrate. So confirmation, and at the end of the day, they weren't that far ahead of Slovenia, but they did the right thing in the circumstances, and you can't blame them for doing that. But the men's kayak, that promises to be a lot more competitive. Gonzalez did well to recapture the paddle, and the problem was that by the time she'd done that, everything was lost. And French in third place, I really thought they would do considerably better than they did, but picked up 64 penalties, and well, they've scraped a bronze medal, to be honest, by well, the crowd who've enjoyed a bit of lunch and hospitality has grown a little bit, and that's probably because of the men's kayak final about to take place. The course is exactly the same as the athletes went down for the semi-finals and the finals earlier in the day, so they'll know plenty about it by now. Nothing's changed in terms of the course itself. And this is a one-off run down here. There's no heats or semi-finals. It's just a straight run down. And when we look at the history of it, well, let's go to Po. Last year, the men's teams, that was won by the Czech trio of Prishkovic, Prindis and Radilek. As you see the boats, just once again, this animation giving you an idea of the rhythm that the boats have to, and the planning that they have to do going through the upstream gates. Runners-up last year were Slovenia, Germany were third last year, and if we wind the clock back to the European Championships in 2018, then the men's kayak teams was again won by the Czech Republic with Prishkovic and Prindis in the team also on that occasion. Poland, who were in the runners-up spot 2 years ago, and Slovenia were third. Austria were in fourth place. So the first team out of the gate is going to be the Swiss, and the Swiss, who had all three of their men in the individual final, so that's a good achievement. The best Swiss performance coming predictably from Martin Duguid. He finished in 7th place ahead of Lucas Guerrero, who finished in 10th, and then Dimitri Marx, who finished in 13th. 12 nations, and Switzerland to set the standard. Just to reiterate, Germany, Slovakia, Great Britain, and Russia, the main absentees. And what is turning out to be a really nice afternoon, and we've arrived at 20 Celsius. Tailwind, so this will be interesting as well to see its strength. The wind has been relatively quiet for the first part of the day. So once again, sit back with myself, David Goldstrom, and enjoy this. I'm sitting happily and warmly in London, as I'm not able to go to Prague because of the COVID-19 restrictions. So unfortunately, I'm not enjoying it as closely as I would love to do. But let's see what the Swiss can do. It was good to get all three of them in the final, and could they possibly set a challenging target? Now, they might learn something from the women, or at least the Czech women, because a clean run without any troubles could pay off here. So the spacing and the distancing between the three kayaks will be critical, but you can see how much more aggression and pace they're putting into the start. So this is much more like it. Clean run here could pay dividends. The first 2/3 of the course they've done very well. Uninhibited paddling, and there you can see the weight for the first boat to let the second boat through, and then once again the weight for the third boat to get behind. So that's exactly the method here. You can see first boat goes out, second boat goes in, third boat just holds off until the second boat is clear. Still no penalties showing up, so this is decent. Hopefully not a touch there, but last man catching up now, so interesting. 1:14.14 clean run. Now that is pretty good by the Swiss. So they've managed this pretty well, and they were fearless in the way that they attacked the course right from the beginning. And that's their final run of the championship, so they'll be pretty pleased with that. It'll be interesting to see how well this stands up now. Now, Latvia didn't get any of their paddlers into the semi-final, but they'll be next to go. Ritvars Selmins will have Bib 2A, and Edgar Gravitis B, and Kaspars Packers will be wearing bib C. He's on the far side, as you can see. So they've got a task on here, the Latvians, to put down a competitive time. And you can see not by any means as aggressive as the Swiss were coming out of the gate. So immediately they're down on the clock. So there's the first penalty touch, and you can see, as I predicted, they are well down in terms of time. Good to have them here. Well, it's not showing on the screen there, but on my computer I can see at least 10 penalty seconds. 7. I think there's a touch at 8 and another one at 12. In fact, 2 touches at 12. And there they are. Low to that upstream, which doesn't help. And you can see huge gap. The front man's got way ahead here. And he's going to be a bit frustrated because he wants to move forward, but the other 2 guys are a long distance away. There's that Czech support for everybody, however well you're doing or however you find yourself perhaps in a bit of a tough situation like these boys. Another 2 seconds lost at gate 16 there. Best part of 50 seconds and counting behind Switzerland. But 12 nations involved here, so quite a way to go. Croatia will be next out on the water. They have some hope, Croatia. Or at least the General Secretary of the European Canoe Association, Branko Lovric, who is Croatian, lives in Zagreb. And he's quietly hopeful that the Croatian men's kayak team collectively will do somewhat better than they did individually. So Switzerland comfortably in first place. So here we go with the Croatians. Rocco Benguri. There you have the 3 men who are underway. Keep it clean, boys. That's the important thing here. Don't be ridiculous with the spacing. Give yourself the opportunity. You can see how the second boat held off there for the third boat to go into the gate. Good shot of the stagger gates. Offset and into 10. Little low, the leader into 10. And oof, that wasn't terribly comfortable between second and third paddler, and a touch on gate 12 there. 2-second penalty. They were only 6 seconds down on the Swiss early on, but that deficit now has increased, and I'm pretty sure there was another touch. Hasn't come up yet, but I was thinking that gate 11 also was, what have they got, 11 and 12? Yeah, 11 and 12 now. Well, at the moment, they're certainly doing better than Latvia.
Yeah, slower than the team of Switzerland was. But as I have mentioned, the team of Switzerland did a really great job. Found us in today's team category. I do think that they have the shot.
Nice piece of camera work round gates 23 there, and third man needs to get a hurry on here just to validate the time. 1:34, and pushes Croatia into second place. And by my reckoning, it's that 6 seconds of penalties. So now Ireland. Noel Hendrick will be their lead-off man. Avoided the penalty there, the Croatians. So the trio of Irishmen. Noel, closest to you on camera. So the leader there for Ireland's Owen Teague. You can't imagine how these paddlers are so pleased to be able to compete. Nothing in training compares, and although the Slovenians during August put on some national championships and an Open Cup competition, there's nothing like a real championship event, even though we are missing some important nations, but 20 nations entered, and that's really encouraging. So it is a valid championship. 50 seconds on gate 8 has made this very difficult now for Ireland to get up to challenge the likes of the Swiss, which they were doing actually until that point. I only had them about sort of 10 seconds or so away, and yes, take off that 50, and that's 10.27 in terms of running time. So effectively they would be running for second place, but for that missed gate. And a touch on that gate 2 has been put in. So Ireland with 2 50-second penalties, that's dropped them down to last place at the moment. They would have been second but for those 2 missed gates. And next, Austria. Now this could be really interesting. The Austrians very accomplished at this, and they've got a really good trio of paddlers. There they are, Felix Oschmaltz, disappointing. Oschmaltz in the final, he missed the gate and got a 50-second penalty. Well, he won't want to be doing that now. But this team has the skill, it has the ability, it has the experience to be able to take the lead away from Switzerland. So, 2 neighbouring countries involved now. And you can see here they're working just that little bit more tightly to each other. There's a touch. Swinging gate on 7. But there's a lot of pace in here, and it's reflected on the clock, despite that touch. Last man just losing his way a little bit through that upstream gate and has lost time, so needs to close up a little bit now. Last man in trouble. Yeah, and it is Oschmaltz again, who's the man who has got a lot of pressure on him at the moment. And you can see Switzerland's time, and you can see that what they had, they no longer have 5 seconds possible to pick it up down here. But the Swiss were very, very good, drilled, disciplined. They had a very clear idea of what they wanted to do and how to go about it. And this will be a feather in the Swiss's cap if they can keep the Austrians out of first place. 1:14.14. Swiss outside the time. Sorry, the Austrians outside the time of Switzerland. And that 2-second penalty wouldn't have made any difference anyway. So well done to the Swiss. 5 teams have competed. We're not quite at halfway yet. So the Austrians will be really disappointed. Given what they can do, they should have been leading this competition at the moment. Switzerland, Croatia, Austria, Latvia, Ireland. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And next up, it's going to be Sweden. Sweden with their 3. There they are. Man in the middle is ECA Canoe. Max Carlsen on your right-hand side. As you can see, names on the boat to help us all. Now, this will be fascinating because I'm not sure how good the Swedes really are as a team force. But nothing to lose, so fair enough, go for it. You've got to adopt the attitude that the Swiss had. So they're giving this plenty of space between the boats. That may well pay off. They're not as fast as the Swiss for sure at this point, but we're barely a third down the course here. That's okay. They're in control at the moment, which is good. 8-12, which has caused enough problems, and they've got a touch on 13 and swinging pole. You can see for yourselves. Now, this is the trickiest of the combinations for this double upstream with 3 boats. You need to be really precise. And what they're all trying to do is to keep the kayaks running. Still within touching distance of Switzerland. They've got to be perfect. They've got to be better than the Swiss, obviously. But halfway through the competition, Switzerland team number 6 of the 12, and nice and tight, keeps the kayak running to 24-25. Yeah, they can't pass the Swiss, and they got that 1 2-second penalty, and the third man has to cross the line. 1:24.39 puts Sweden into second place. Croatia go down to third. 10 seconds at the end of the day, and they didn't lose any further speed on the last part of the course. But in terms of running time, just about 10 seconds slower than Switzerland. Poland will be next out on the water. So Dariusz Popiela, who was 15th in the individual competition, wears 7A. Maciusz Polarczyk, who's taking home a bronze medal as a result of finishing in third place in the men's final. He's the meat in the sandwich, so to speak, wears letter B. Well, they've clattered gate number 2, and there's a 2-second penalty there. Well, I'm not... Well, the computer says differently. No, it is 2 seconds for sure. It had to be. Now, time-wise... Now, you see, but for the 2-second penalty, they'd have been ahead at this moment, ahead of the Swiss. But this is still very possible for them. They're an experienced trio, and moving through now, this middle section, absolutely crucial as they come to the double upstream. Now, this is where you can see first man out, second man in. First man crosses over to 16 as the second man goes into 16. Third man comes behind. That's pretty good. They're not gaining. They are losing, but not hugely. 3.53. Certainly got a chance to push the Austrians out of second place. Their total time was 120.06. These guys are looking to be better than 114.14 through the last upstream. 2 more gates to go and the sprint on the flat water. Can they get there? Can they take the lead away from Switzerland? Poland challenging now. 10, 12, 13, 14. The last man is a little bit slow across the line. And as a result of that, Poland goes second and Switzerland prevail. So 7 teams have completed, 5 to go. France, Italy, Spain, Slovenia and the Czech Republic all strong. And this is very, very open. I wonder, could Switzerland cling on and get a medal? That's the situation. You can see in red there the penalties and the one and only clean run. And I said right at the beginning a clean run would count, and so far it's doing just that. So Martin Duguid, Lucas Vero and Dimitri Marx, they've done a pretty fair job so far. But now they've got to look upstream and have a look at what the French are going to do. Boris Neveu, Quentin Bourgui, so disappointed to lose his bronze medal with a 2-second touch. And Matouin Madore, who missed a gate in his run, and so 50 seconds penalty was added to his time. So the French have got something to prove here. French were 4th in the World Championships last year in La Serre de Guerre, and in Pau, the men's team, the French team, was pretty disappointing. They were down in 7th place. Opportunity for them here. So Boris goes last. Gate 1 and 2. Safely through the first 3 gates and looks good through 4. No problems so far. Bourgui, the bearded Frenchman, leading last year's bronze medalist individually in Pau. Quick enough on terms, I would have thought, from the opening section. Yes, this is better by the French. They're getting the work in here, and these kayaks are moving smoothly. Yeah, they're up, not by a huge margin, but they're up by my calculations. Yeah, 0.3. Well, they could easily lose that on the lower part of the course, but equally they could extend it as well. That's what they need to do. They need to try to push as close to a clear second, but remember, they've got to stay clean. One touch now will throw them out of the potential to move into the gold medal position. 4.14 is the time. This looks good, and look at the charge from the third man, 7. Yes, they're going to do it. And France come through to take the lead away from Switzerland, 110.93. And once again, it's a clean run that pays dividends. France, Switzerland, Poland now in third, Austria off the podium. It was a steady start, but they built throughout the run, and they were clean and they were accurate. So France, but still 4 nations to come, so nobody guaranteed a medal yet. Next up are the Italians, who haven't had a great time of it. None of them managed to make the kayak men's final. Giovanni De Gennaro, he was 23rd in the semi-final ranking. So an opportunity, a little bit like the French, to show us what they really can do. And Jakob Vega on his way. Jakob Vega, who has plenty to offer. Vega, the 2018 under-23 world champion, on his own home water in Italy, where he'll be hoping next year to add the senior title to that junior success. But plenty of touches, not all of them showing at the moment, but there they are. They're coming up now. Gate 4, gate 9, gate 10 and 12. Well, they're down on the clock, and the penalties are working against them here. Poland in third place, across the line, 115.91. So Poland may well hang on to third place. And they will. So not much joy for the Italians, and 121.84, and only as good as fifth here. And 10 seconds, almost 11 seconds behind France. So if you take off the 8 penalties, and they would have been 3 seconds, they would have been in a medal position. But as it is, France, Switzerland and Poland still the 1, 2, 3. So it's those 8 touches that have cost them potentially a medal, as we come down to the last 3 now. Spain, Slovenia and the Czech Republic. Spain, a little bit like Italy, have underperformed. Crespo for Spain finished 11th in the final, but he was the only Spaniard to make it into the last 15. But we know from the World Championships that they can medal, but that was on home water with the home crowd cheering them on a course they know well. So very different, Liceo de Gel, to this particular channel. Can't emphasize too much how easy it may look to the eye, but how difficult it is to work your way down here cleanly with precision and at speed. And a touch on 7. Hasn't shown on the board, but there was a definite touch there on gate 7. 1.57, and there it is. And you can see they would have been on terms with France but for that touch. But now they're in all sorts of trouble, having to go up to make the gate, having come down so low. And now the third man's really got a motor now, or the front two have just got to slow down. But either way, it's painful. 4 seconds in that running time. Well, it must be close to 20 seconds overall what they've lost now to the French, and that puts them out of it. So with 2 nations to come, French are looking good for getting at least a medal. We wouldn't be sure what it is, what colour it is. The Swiss are in silver, the Polish are in bronze at the moment. And they're the ones who are hoping that the Slovenians and the Czechs run into trouble. It's unlikely, but you can never say never. And Spain down in 7th place. So even the 4 seconds of penalties they collected wouldn't have made any difference. They just weren't fast enough. So France now know they've got a medal. They're sitting in the gold medal position. Can they hold on to it? Slovenia with Petr Kauza, Nico Testen, and also Vid Kura Marusic. Interesting to see how they're going to take on the leaders. Petr Kauza, silver medalist in the Europeans. That was a terrific performance, and that's going to really boost his confidence as he leads out here for Slovenia. It's a little different from a lot of courses where you have this flat water sprint into the first gates. And again, a clean run down here is absolutely paramount. Finding their rhythm, getting the pattern of weaving in and out of particularly the upstream gates, and a little bit behind, but within half a second of France, so that's positive. They're a little more spread out now. Touch on 12. Definite touch on 12, and there it is. It's come up there, and they would be right on terms with France, but for that touch, there wouldn't be much between them. I wonder whether they can just make this up. The French finished extremely well. Their pattern was great. They were really tight, and the Slovenians are tight as well. Little bit of quite a bit of lost time by the third man there. 110.93 seconds. That's their target. And this is just going to elude them, I think. There they are. They're past the French time. 1:14. They're past the time of Switzerland. And Slovenia. Well, the fascinating thing for me is that Slovenia have gone into 3rd place and Switzerland are 2nd. And with the Czech Republic to come, it means that France and Switzerland are both guaranteed a medal, and that's a real boost for both those nations, but particularly the Swiss. I'm delighted. They went first. They had exactly the right idea, and they've now got a reward, and that's terrific. All three men in the final. No medals, but they got into the individual final, and now they're going to take home a European team medal. At the moment, it's a silver. It might be a bronze if the Czech team can go faster than both Switzerland and France. But look at that for a lineup. Prišković, Prindis, and Hradilek. And if you... Prišković, the gold medalist, Hradilek in 4th place, and Prindis in 6th, but they're just champions all over, these three, individually, but collectively they are a danger force. On slip, and Slovenia might cling on to that bronze medal. You never know. Last run of the day. Crowd getting behind them. 0.2, not a worry at the moment. That's 0.2 behind France, of course. Second man there, that's Hradilek. This is looking good. From being, oh, well, I was just about to say, from being behind, they're creeping into the lead, but has that pole been touched? I'm not quite sure. Yes, it has. 16, a 2-second touch, and that could be the difference. 0.69. They had and were building a really good lead, but now they're really under pressure. They've still got the last upstream to negotiate. So, the Czech team, can they do it? Coming down to the finish now, inside 110.93 to take the lead away from France. And 112, and they haven't done it, but they have gone into silver and pushed Switzerland down to 3rd and Slovenia off the podium. But the Czech Republic, they took the gold individually thanks to Jiří Prišković, and now they've got the gold in the team event as well, much to the delight of the home crowd. So the Czechs, they couldn't quite do it. They missed out by 1.45 seconds. They had 4 seconds of penalties. Had they not had either of those touches, then they would have been easily clear into the lead. But congratulations to France, who take the men's team title for 2020. Czechs have to settle for silver, and Switzerland an excellent bronze for them. And for once, Slovenia not making the podium. Had Slovenia not had that one touch, they would have finished in a time of 1:13.63, and they would have denied the Swiss. But in a funny sort of way, much as I appreciate the Slovenians, I'm a little delighted that the Swiss are going home with a bronze medal. So there it is. It's all unofficial at the moment. But the medal ceremony is to come. And whilst the women's medal ceremony is taking place, this will be checked to make sure that the results are all correct. So when you look down the whole performance here, only France and Switzerland produced clean runs through the 25 So day 2 of the 2020 European Championships comes to a close. Just the medal ceremonies to complete the day. And just a reminder that tomorrow, of course, we've got 2 more categories, the women's kayak and the men's canoes in the morning, followed at 12 midday Central European time, with the finals of those 2 categories, and then the team finals to wrap everything up, and then everybody will be on their way home. Just a little reminder here of the women's team final, won by the Czech Republic handsomely, ahead of Slovenia and France. Not a great competition, if I'm being perfectly honest. The Czechs used their head, and they took the opportunity to space with comfort and not put themselves under pressure in terms of touching a gate, and the time wasn't that impressive, and in fact they were just under 25 seconds ahead of Slovenia and France with a 50-second penalty third. Normally that wouldn't be the case, but nonetheless 3 delighted Czech ladies. And now reverting to the men's event, and the Swiss, as I've said, will be absolutely delighted with that. Them being outside the top 15 back in 2014 in Vienna for the Swiss team, so this is a big occasion for them. And you need to put it in the context. I know I'm being very buoyant for the Swiss, but it's the same for all of the paddlers. If you get a result here, particularly in the circumstances that we're all enduring at the moment, it's a huge confidence boost to go into next year, to have got 1 competition under your belt. And so we come to the medal presentations for the women's Canadian team final.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the medalists for the women's canoe.
Another success for the Czech Republic.
Vice President of the European Canoe Association is coming to congratulate. Těm nejlepším cyklistickám dnešní závodě lídek bude gratulovat viceprezident Evropské kanoistické federace Jaroslav
And I'm
Polák.
not going to pretend to you that all the social distancing has worked. Certainly has for the athletes. They've been extremely good, and they have been all the way through. And so France, with Lucie Baudou, Claire Jacquet and Lucie Priou, all 3 women who made the individual final, with Lucie Priou taking home an individual bronze medal, and that's good news for the French.
Stříbrná medaile pro the silver medal for Alia Kozorok, Eva Alina Hočevar, Lea Novak, Slovenia.
Slovenia, a trio of Alia Kozorog and Eva Alina Hočevar and Lea Novak. And that's Jaroslav Polák, if I'm not mistaken, who is the president of the Czech Canoe Slalom Federation, who's responsible for the medals here. As you can see, the girls take their own medals, but he's handing them the flowers, and I have to say we need to say a big thank you to him and his Czech team for making this happen. So, the biggest roar. The 2 Teresas, Neblova, Fisarova, but the double gold medalist of the day is Gabriela Satkova. And it's a real shame that they have to be masked up, but that's the world we live in now. To miss their smiles is something that's a pity, really. but I know all of them, the fact that they've been able to compete is something that they'll cherish.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the Czech Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, this show recognition for the 2020 Canoe Slalom European Championships winners in the women's canoe team event. Now getting really closely on the first stage, the best of the best in the team category. It is Lucie Baudou, Claire Jacquet, Lucie Préou, team of France, Alia Kozorok, Eva Alena Hočevar, Lea Novak from Slovenia a Tereza Fischerová, Gabriela Sadková a Tereza Kneblová z České republiky.
So day 2 completed, and we now look forward to Sunday. I'm delighted to have your company once again. We start with semi-finals at 9 o'clock Central European time. So we'd love to have your company for breakfast and the semi-finals. And 20 boats, of course, advancing from the heats in both the women's kayak and the men's single canoe. And the finals a little bit earlier tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central European time.
Pražské Troji a spolu se Švýcary tak bude na stupních vítězů v rámci dnešního závodu, který nám bude zítra pokračovat 2 kategoriemi, a to konkrétně tedy kategorii.
So now to the men's presentation, France, Czech Republic and Switzerland.
Mezi singlíři to bude pro nás, pro Českou republiku, hodně zajímavé, protože se definitivně rozhodne o tom, kdo pojede na olympijské hry do Tokia 2021, protože mezi singlíři ještě není jasno, stejně tak jako nebylo jasno před dnešním závodem mezi singlířkami. U kajakářů a kajakářek už jasno díky prvním 2 částem nominace bylo tedy Kača Kudějová a Jiřa Prskavec. Ale u singlířů se bude ještě rozhodovat. Zítra se dozvíme, kdo vyrazí za Českou republiku pod olympijské hry, pod olympijské kruhy na hry do japonského Tokia. Doufejme v roce 2021. A se na velkoplošné obrazovce detailním záběru.
Well, another piece of decent organisation. They seem to have got all the boys together for the presentation. So that's good. And we're moments away from that.
O něco níž a vybojovat tak pro sebe lepší kovy. Všichni medailisté obdrží skleněné trofeje od Crystal Bohemia a vítězové navíc nože Victorinox. All medalists will be awarded.
Men's results are official. So France, the Czech Republic and Switzerland all ready to receive their medals. A little rush there to get the flags up on the poles.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the medalists for the men's kayak team event. Jean-Michel Prono, International Canoe Federation Executive Board member.
Jean-Michel Prono, the man who is going to make the presentations, member of the International Canoe Federation Executive Board, and someone who's truly devoted his life to the world of canoe slalom. So, in third place, the team of Switzerland, Martin Dugud and Lucas Vero and Dimitri Marks. Delighted for them. This is a really important reward for them to get this medal. Nice confidence boost for them.
The silver medalists are Jiří Prskavec, Vít Třindiš, Vavřinec Radílek.
Well, on this occasion, the Czech Republic don't take the gold medal, but Jiří Prskavec and Vít Třindiš and Vavřinec Radílek should be pretty pleased with their day, particularly Jiří Prskavec becoming a European champion for the first time to add to his world successes.
A mistry Evropy v závodě hlídek se stávají, and the gold medalist is team of Boris Never, Quentin Bourgui, Maturin Madure, team of France.
But on this occasion, delighted to congratulate France to hold off everybody. Boris Neveu, Quentin Bourgui, who was so disappointed to lose his bronze medal with a single gate touch in the individual competition, and a consolation for Maturin Madure, whose time was ruined with a 50-second penalty, so a really nice piece of consolation for them and for the team of France. And now their national anthem to recognise that success.
Switzerland, the Czech Republic and France, the best teams of the 2020 ECA European Canoe Slalom Championships in Prague in the Czech Republic.
So that really is it, and for those of you who've joined us for the whole day or part of the day, thank you very much for watching. We very much appreciate it, and we look forward to your company tomorrow. I think the women's kayak and the men's Canadian singles is going to be pretty good. It seems that the guys are more into social distancing than the girls, but time for us to say farewell as the clock ticks towards 4:30 in the afternoon. Enjoy your evening wherever you are. From myself, David Goldstrom, and the team, enjoy your Saturday evening, and we look forward to your company as we see, well, the Czech Republic, not surprisingly, out in front there. And now 5 countries on the medal roster at the moment, but hopefully that will be extended tomorrow. And there is your menu for tomorrow. Join us for breakfast if you can for the semi-finals. If not, try us at lunchtime for the finals. And I think the women's kayak teams and the men's canoe teams will put on a decent show for us. But of course, it's the finals which really matter at 12 o'clock and at 12:37. So on behalf of the European Canoe Association and also our Czech hosts and Stanislav Ješek, who is the main organizer, great paddler, great achiever in this sport, passionate, and I can't tell you how hard that man has worked to make this weekend happen. But absolutely a big pat on the back to him and his team for what they've achieved. So just about time. I was mentioning Stanislav Ješek, Canadian single paddler, gold medal in the World Championship in the Czech Canadian singles team. That was in Borg Samaris all the way back in 2002. And he was a silver medalist individually in Krakow in 2008. And also got a team gold in the European Championships in the Canadian singles for the Czechs in Nottingham in 2009. And if you wind the clock back all the way for Stan, then he was a junior world team gold medalist back in the era of 1994. But his appetite for the sport is terrific. He paddles regularly. And yeah, as I said, big pat on the back for him. So, time for me to say goodbye for the final time today. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy your Saturday evening wherever you are, and we'd love your company tomorrow. If you like what you've seen, press the follow and like button. That would be much appreciated. For now, though, bye-bye from Prague.